أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور.
Praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Welcome again to my channel. In this video, I would like to share another thing as regards the issue of Ahmadiyya, the Qodiani Muslims, the Ahmadi Muslims. So, based on several debates I have had with them, so I have authored a book concerning one of the topics that came up while we were debating. That is the situation, the position of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and I named the book Where is Allah? So quickly this morning, I would like to share some of the things pertaining to this topic, just quickly and briefly. So, although I'm just using the manuscripts with me, so I have several, some things, some prefaces, some introductions and prefaces for the body of the main discussion. Okay, so Ahmadiyya, because they have some, Ahmadiyya have several, or let me say, a lot of verses, Quranic verses that they've altered, that they've tampered with, they've twisted as regards their meaning. And this is really simply because these verses, if rendered correctly, would automatically or definitely deny their heretic and false belief, because they believe that the founder of the religion, by the name is Ghulam Ahmad, who claimed, because that this man claimed to have been the promised and expected Messiah, Masih, that is Prophet Isa, who is expected to come and who is yet to come. So this man claimed here that he had come in his essence, although in another picture from another country, from another characteristics and dogma, as in another person entirely. So and he had come and he had been the Messiah, and after him there is no other Messiah. So this man and Ahmadiyya holding on to this belief fervently. They had no other option other than twisting verses that can, deny this profession, this claim. And this is why they deliberately and unhesitantly denied the verse in Surah chapter 4, that is verse 157 to 158, which explicitly declared that Prophet Isa was not crucified, nor was killed. وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ. Allah said, neither did they kill him nor crucify him, but that was just made to seem thus to them. He said they had to deny this verse. I've made another video on that. And in verse 158 of the same surah, the next verse, Allah said, Allah raised him up unto himself. So they had to, twist, to manipulate the word, or the phrase, Ilahi, unto himself. They had to render the meaning wrongly. That's unto Ilahi, to himself, to himself. Okay, let's just agree to himself. I said ila does not mean fawqa. Does not mean fawqa. It should be ila. Something else should be rendered to ila. Should be added to ila. Like maybe if it were to be fawqa, it should be above, upward. If the direction should be would be upward, would mean upward, then that should be sama should be added to it. It is ila sama, to heaven, or to the heaven. So Allah said ilayhi, to himself. So it may not be to the heaven, and that may not be that Allah is above the heaven. So from their twisting, let me say, they're trying, from their try to treat, to adjust, to manipulate verses that can, or this verse that may make it clear to people that they are liars. They fell automatically into another crime, and that is their denying. Their automatic, when they denying this, will automatically make them to deny the fact that Allah is above the heaven. So, and that is the major thing I'm going to discuss here. So there are so many verses because of these that they have altered. For example, the first one is among them, which is just quoted, Quran chapter 4, verse 158. Again, let me just cite 2 or 3 or 4 verses with a temper that mention the same thing. Let's say, إِلَيْهِ يَسْعَدُ الْكَلِمُ الطَّيِّبُ, to him, that is to Allah, يَسْعَدُ الْكَلِمُ الطَّيِّبُ, does the good statement, or does al-kalimu tayyib, let's just say the good statement, because it's a particular statement which scholars have interpreted in so many ways. So ilayhi yas'adu al-kalimu tayyib, the Qodianism statement does yas'adu, rise to Allah. So here, although this also is one of the verses that denies this argument of there. Ilahi, because they said Ilahi is not Ila. It does not, mean that Allah is above heaven, because to him, he said to him, and this may not be that he is above the heaven. But we say, what about Yas'ad? What meaning of Sa'ada? What is meaning of Sa'ada? Yas'ad, Sa'ada. Whether you climb, or because Sa'ada can mean someone climbing, or Sa'ada, something rising up, everything, the direction is upward. So Sa'ada has clarified Ilayhi, as explained Ilayhi. One of the verses that, although I have not, there are some other clear and cutting evidences that they cannot also deny. I'm going to quickly quote or mention here in this video. Let me just look at another verse. So they also deny another verse, which is just some verse like هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء. Allah said, He, it is who have created for you all what is in the earth. Then istawa ila sama. So what they use to manipulate is ila. Everything is just ila. So ila here does not mean above this heaven, because it must tower. Allah sat, or situate themselves above the heaven. They say ila does not mean, it does not mean it's above the heaven. So like it's tower, like they will say, like it has superiority. Just trying to manipulate the meaning. and some of them would may cite the song of somebody from maybe Iraq or elsewhere. قد استوى على العراق بشر. And get receiving what they mean Iraq. That a man has, has استوى على العراق, had superiority over Iraq, the land of Iraq, as he has control over the land of Iraq. So, and the man used istawa. So that means istawa also may mean this. Okay, but even we can ask them from this as well. Ila sama. What's the meaning of sama? Heaven. Where is the heaven? Is it downward or rightward or leftward or backward or frontward? What's the direction? Upward. So this sama too is explaining ila, but that is not even the constant evidences you are still going to bring. So they have so many of these. So they can say, was it Allah? Like I've read one of them, Muhammad Ali, in his interpretation of the Quran, which they used to, study, and is one of the major people that initiates, these heretic that even let's say that promotes well all these heretic beliefs, teachings of their master Ghulam Ahmad. So, and the Quran, he wrote the interpretation. He had some commentaries to certain verses, pertaining to the teaching of their master Ghulam Ahmad. So he also says this kind of things. There's a lot of things about it. So I read him commenting on I think verse where Allah in Surah Al-An'am chapter 6, where Allah says, وَهُوَ الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ. He said this verse should have been the verse that, the verse that had denied the fact that Allah is not above the heaven. God said, "Fi in is the one in the heavens." So, and heaven is upward. But what made it clear that he didn't deny his next sentence that followed, that "Wafil out," and he's in the earth. And we say, very good. This is also the explanation of the caller that is trying to make you understand that Allah is above the heaven in his essence. He himself is above the heaven, but he knows whatever is in the earth, everywhere on the earth, in the earth, whatever happens in the earth, on the earth, Allah knows everything. So his knowledge is everywhere, but he's above the heaven. And that's gonna be a verse that clarifies this explicitly. Is going to be the first verse evidences I'm going to quote here. But there I quote that I have a reply to him in the Quran. This verse I'm going to quote, one of the debates I had with them, that I first learned this before another one. I first learned this heretic belief, that they had this belief before another one that we now debated it properly. So when I quoted it, no, it's the other one. It was in the other one. When I quoted this verse, the Ahmadi, let me just say scholar that was brought to me to debate me that day was like, wow, so we have this kind of verse in the Quran. He didn't expect it. Very clear. Okay, we are expecting out. Okay, you will not see out here. Let's say in Surah to what? Surah to Tabarak. Surah al-Mulk. Allah says, أَمِنْتُمْ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاءِ أَنْ يَقْصِفَ بِكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فَإِذَا هِيَ تَمُورُ. Allah said, أَمِنْتُمْ. Do you feel secure that He, that is Allah, who is in the heaven, or who is in heaven, will not cause the earth to sink beneath you? And then it begins to quake. Even Allah repeats it. It said, أَمِنْتُمْ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاءِ أَنْ يُرْسِلَ عَلَيْكُمْ حَاصِبًا فَتَعْلَمُونَ كَيْفَ. Or do you feel secure that the one, that this God, who is in heaven, will not send against you a wild wind, to pelt you with stones, so that you will know how to one is one. So we're actually pointing out is he who is in the heaven. He who is in the heaven is in the heaven. Where is it? It's in the heaven. And the heaven is there? Upward. You can never deny that. That is the scientific. It's upward. So even if this only verse we have is enough to deny all the heresies and controversy. Or so Allah is in heaven, and another thing that's the explanation of that thing they used to that Allah is just is not above the heaven, and is one who is in the heaven and who is in the earth, that they have confusion. Allah says, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. Allah said, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ, He is with you, أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ, wherever you are. Okay, that means if you are in the toilet, He's also in the toilet. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. Allah sees everything you do. That means He knows everything. That's why Allah said, وَعِلْمُهُ فِيكُمْ وَحَاطَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عِلْمًا. Allah even said in the Quran, وَحَاطَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عِلْمًا. His knowledge encompasses everything. Allah doesn't mean to be in Nigeria and at the same time runs to America because He wants to know what's happening in America. Or what you mean is Allah is in Nigeria and at the same time He's in America and at the same time He's in London. So how many Allah do we have then? Allah is above the heaven, but He knows whatever happens here. That is the correct Aqidah, and that is one a thing that makes the dignity of Allah to be first. Because you also can be in Nigeria and with the CCTV camera or with the satellite, you can see whatever happens around your company in Nigeria. That can be done. You don't need to stay where the CCTV camera is. You can stay elsewhere. And with the CCTV camera or with the satellite, you can control everything you have elsewhere. You can see them and monitor them. So that's just an example Allah has given to you. Allah is above the heaven in His essence, but everything elsewhere, whether in the sea, whether in the bush, in the forest, whether anywhere, Allah knows whatever happens there. So let me just make it short because I've written a lot here in this book. Okay. So now let me go to the first evidence in the Hadith. We have it in the Jami Tirmidhi, Hadith of Tirmidhi, and we have it elsewhere. The Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, distance between the first heaven and the second heaven is a journey of 500 years. So a journey of 500 years, then, from Mecca to, let me say, where they call Sham then. So Sham is a combination of several countries today. So it's like a 3-month journey. 3-month journey. But for now, if you were to go on land, maybe through train or bus, it will take you up to 2 days. So when you use the flight, go through, take a flight, journey, it may take you a couple of minutes of, let me say, hours. Okay? Now, let's just say you are going through a flight and it will take you like a couple of hours to go. Let's just say maybe 2 hours, for example. Okay. Now, and compared to, and we know the speed, the rate at which a plane flies. So, a plane would travel, and if we are going to mathematically deduct the speed rate of a flight to the speed rate of a camel or so. Or the camel does not even take any speed; it walks slowly. Let me not say sluggishly, but it walks slowly. But the movement of a camel is just like a movement of a man walking very fast, very fast. So 3 months we're using now 2 hours. So that means if a man will travel for a year, for like a year. So and we know we have 500 years, and the man will have traveled for like a year, and we know we have in a year we can have up to 4 months, or 3 months. We can have up to 4 times. That will be 4. That will be like 2 times 4 is 12. So and then we can at least for a year the person that goes to so compared to an aeroplane, a fast aeroplane, where travel for 2 hours, 2 times 4 is what? 8. That's going to take 8 hours. So that is for 100 years. 100 years, 8 hours. Now we have 500 years. That's 100 years times 5. 500 years. 5 times 8 then. So 5 times 8 will be, what's that? Will be like 45. So 45 hours. That is even more than a day, because a day is 27 hours. 27 hours. So that's more than a day. So 45 hours, that is a day and like 18 hours to travel from one heaven to another heaven. A very fast airplane or aircraft or parachute will do that for a day and 18 hours. SubhanAllah. It's a very long journey. And Allah Prophet said, from the second heaven to the third heaven, 500 years. From the third heaven to the fourth heaven, 700 years. From the fourth heaven to the fifth heaven, the same distance. The fifth to sixth and the sixth to seventh, same distance. And that's it. Allah said, from the seventh heaven to the throne of Allah, Arsh, like the palace, palace with feet. The throne of Allah. Allah doesn't use it for anything. So it's another distance compared to that. From that, so and Allah is now on the throne of Allah is the Arsh. Is the Arsh, the share of Allah. Arsh is Arsh is like where the king, the place made for the king to sit. It's very beautiful and awesome place for the king to sit on his throne. So Allah is above the throne. Not Allah is sitting on the throne. Just use the throne for something that you may need to know later, because Allah doesn't use the throne. And there's 8 angels carrying the throne of Allah, and Allah is on the throne, and 8 angels are carrying it. On the day of judgment, Allah will ask them to leave it, and they will leave it, and the throne will sit there like that. It will not fall, so they know that they are not the one carrying it. All right. So Allah Prophet now says this hadith that, and Allah is above the throne, above, not on the throne, above the throne, and He knows whatever happens everywhere. Allah is above the throne and knows whatever happens on the earth, or in the sea, in the forest, bushes. Look at the distance. Look at the distance. Nobody can ever hear any sound of anybody on the earth. If we should open through or look down through his viewport, let me just use it, viewport, or his window in the aircraft or the aeroplane, open it and look down, and we can never hear anything. Let alone compare to somebody to the last point of the first sky, to the first sky or heaven. Second one, third one, this sounds of 500 years. Allah is there and knows whatever. He hears and sees and knows whatever happens. And they say somebody knows something. If he has what they said, sees what they did. So this explanation is that Allah, its movement from one heaven to heaven is what direction? Upward. And Allah is above them, that is Allah above the heaven. And again, Allah knows everything. That is his position, but he knows, his knowledge is everywhere. This is very, very accurate and very, very mighty. We have a lot of evidence that have started here. Another evidence I'm going to cite here is the answer of soul of man. In Hadith by Bukhari, from a companion called Barao bin Azib, and I think there are other hadiths on that. So, the Prophet said, whenever a man dies, his soul is taken. Whenever his soul of a man is taken, it's wrapped. If it's a good Muslim person that believes in Allah and worship Him, wrapped in a very good, very pleasant and glue, very good clothes that, according to the Hadith, we are not quoting. It has its description, and if the kafir, the believer in Allah, is wrapped in another one bag. So it is taken upward. In the Hadith, that it is taken upward, and they open the first heaven. When they open the first heaven, he is a good man, he is a believer in Allah. He have a good fragrance, a pleasant fragrance, smell. So everybody in the heaven, the angels will say, oh, who is moving? What kind of good smell is this? We open the second heaven, we enter. All of them in the second heaven will say the same thing until it reaches Allah. Then Allah will ask them to send its soul back to his body. And that time it will have been in the grave. So at that time the angels will be asking him after his soul is given to him, is alive again. Rather, the Prophet said, he will be hearing the sound of the people, the sound of the foot of the people that came to bury him, but the soul of him, taken back to him, to his body. But if it is believer in Allah, all the people in heaven will say, "Wow, what kind of bad smell is this? Who is this person coming up to us?" So these are other evidence that is very clear, and you can find it inside Bukhari. In another hadith, which is very, very authentic, and we all know it, for those who want to go astray, Satan will let them forget this kind of evidence. Allah's messenger said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to descend. What is now descend? Coming downward from where? Up. Allah used to descend. To what is it? The last heaven here that we see. That is coming from above the first heaven. So Allah used to descend to the first heaven that we can see it. And at the third part of the night, that is just before the dawn, the daybreak, and he would say, who is here available to ask me for forgiveness that I can forgive, that I may forgive him? Who is he that wants to call upon me that I may answer him? Who is he that needs something that has something to ask me to fulfill, that I may fulfill it for him? But most people will be asleep by then, except few that knows the importance of this and that wants to worship Allah and loves Allah. Another evidence is answered of angels with the days of man on Thursday and Monday. And that's when I used to fast on Thursday and Monday, and when he was asked, he said, the deeds of man are usually taken up to Allah. Where? Up to Allah on Thursdays and Fridays. And I want my deeds to be taken while I'm fasting. I want fasting to be taken along with my deeds. So they ascend, ascend to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ascension means going upward, and to whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They descend and ascend of the angels unto Allah. As another evidence, every day angels will ascend. So up to Allah, and some will descend. There will be some will come just around Fajr time. They will meet the Muslims praying. These are these I'm quoting. They will stay until Asr, where the Muslims are observing another Salat. They will leave. They descend, and they ascend. Some another one, those that descend and ascend and descend, will never come again until the day of judgment. It's another. Now that's why the angels are more than all. So other sects will descend to replace these people. They will come at the time of Asr, that those won't descend. They also will stay till Fajr. They will leave. Other ones will come, and this routing, and these are routing. Now, allow me ask them, when you got to my believers, where in what condition of position did you meet them? They will say, we met them praying, observing prayer. When we were there during Salat al-Fajr, we met them. And when we were leaving, we left them praying. Asr. That means they were just on ibadah for Allah. Alright. Another evidence that shows that Allah is upward is that Allah, there is one particular hadith that Prophet Muhammad said, Allah, if Allah wants to send a revelation to the Prophet Muhammad, he would call on Angel Jibril to come and take the verse from the Lawh al-Mahfuz where it is written. So it will go there, take it, and start and descend from heaven, from that place. That place is above the heaven. Descend down to cite the revelation to the prophets for him to teach the people. So when it got to the seventh, the last heaven upward, the seventh heaven, the angels will say, Mother call Rabbukum. What did your Lord say? The angels will say, Call al-Haq. The angels, or as well as those accompanying him, or as well as those others, would say, it's al-Haq, it's true, it's say. When they go to the next heaven, the sixth heaven, they will ask the same thing. What did your Lord say? Because they will be anxious or eager to hear what Allah asks at the very beginning. But it will never be, disclosed to anyone until they go to the first heaven here, the last heaven. They ask the same thing, they answer that call how he said, you have said the truth. Until he reached, the Jibril gets to the angel, the prophets that he sent to. He was sent to rather. So he would revise, he would recite the certain verse or verses or chapter even, and the messenger will later recite it to the people after that. So what we have to know is that it was coming from above, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then reached the seventh heaven, the sixth, descending. That means Allah is above heaven, right? Another thing from this is that he would not disclose the verse until it gets to judgment, because it's important. It's for the people. So if the word of Allah is very important as this, that the people closer to Allah, more closer to Allah than us, could not even take a seat from there until we take it first, because it's for us to use. Then we should know that we must not play with it. We need to obey the word of Allah and the word of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As Allah said, obey Allah and obey the messenger sent to him. Okay, another evidence is that the devils, as to many verses in the Quran, they would go. هل نبيكم لمن تنزل الشياطين تنزل على كل أفاك أثيم يلقون السمع وأكثرهم فاسقون. So the devils would go up to listen to decrees of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they will go to listen. Allah will tell the angels that so and so person writes, this is what I want to write for him at his destination, his destiny. So he's gonna have two children this so year, and he's gonna have, he's gonna be made a minister so year, and he's gonna have some problems so year, and gonna date. He's gonna marry someone with social name. He will have tried like 40 people, and none of them will come. With the marriage of someone marrying someone, none of any of them would be successful until he marries social person. So the eight devils will go up to listen to that, so that they can go and tell the sorcerers whenever somebody comes to know to know something hidden that he heard and heard something about this particular person, but this particular what I heard, so that they can mislead people thinking that other people except Allah knows some hidden things. So what Allah does to them, so we have beautified whatever the beautify the sky, the heaven of the earth, this first one, with lamps, that is skies, the stars, you see them. Now we also make it, or we also made it human, like let's just say, something that we. So another evidence is Hadith of a traveler, and this is one of the heavy, cutting evidences that I try to place at the end of the book. Okay, so if you give somebody an evidence because he's not well satisfied with it, give him another one that is hotter. He's not well satisfied, give him another one that is hotter, and to give the one that will either make him to reason and obey, accept, or make it clear that he is a fasik, someone that is destined to go astray. Okay, Hadith of the traveler in the Sahih Bukhari, and I think elsewhere too. The last one Allah said, the Prophet of Allah, peace be upon him, said, okay, let me just say from the beginning. He said, in Allah tayyibun la yaqbalu tayyiba. Really, Allah is tayyib, clean. Wa la yaqbalu tayyiba. We never accept something except anything. We never accept anything except what is clean. It is tayyib there. It has. Let me just say, there's something that is pure. That's Allah, not something that has no wrong, mischief, not mixed with mischief. Allah does not accept anything mischievous. That's why he brought an example to understand that. He said, in Allah to skip that, he said, was talking about, was trying to warn us against consuming or earning money from wrong sources, like stealing, gambling, what again? Wrongly shooting people, duping people, and it's like some other ways that we have today. We just try to say you're the business and trying to taking people's money illegally and wrongly. So made an example of a traveler. Say somebody take this then it made mention of a man who has been spent a long time on his journey. His hair has become dusty, his clothes has been dusted. The raise is up. Ila sama. Is this ila that you Ahmadiyya used to interpret? But ila to where? Sama. To where is sama? Where is this heaven? Is it downward? Is it backward? Is it frontward? Is it upward? So forget about the ila, because you say ilayhi, to he. Now, and you with your senses don't know that where it befits Allah, it should be up. Now you see something that Allah is using ilah to again, or the Prophet to heaven. You can never deny. If you deny that Allah is not in the heaven, can you deny that the sky or the heaven is not in the heaven? He raised his hand ila sama. Where? Ila sama, towards the sky, heaven. Is he now calling upon the heaven then? La, it's calling upon Allah. It's even in the Hadith. Ya Rabbi, oh my Lord. He's calling upon Allah. And because we know Allah is upon the heaven. And if Allah is not upon the heaven, the Prophet will have qualified his prayer. So Ya Rabbi, my Lord. Ya Rabbi, oh my Lord. Ya Rabbi, oh my Lord. He said two times. That he's asking for something. Basu haram. But what he was putting on is some haram, is some wrong resource, some illegal source, which Allah has made haram, forbidden. Basu haram. What he was wearing is haram. The clothes was wearing is haram. So, who is bil haram? When he reached the place he was going to, he was given haram food. How will Allah accept the prayer of the person, of such person? What the Prophet was trying to let us know is that he is one of the people that Allah used automatically will never reject the prayer, because he said, another narration that those people that three prayers Allah will never reject them, and he mentioned among them the prayer of a traveler, owing to the stress and some other things that he will have experienced, because Allah is very merciful. Because of the stress of journey, especially during their own time, Allah used to accept prayer of the traveler. And even because of that, Allah make us, and that still happens up to now. It's still applicable up to our own age now. Despite we have so many means to travel easily and more comfortably. Allah still make us ask us to make 4 unit prayer to 2 unit prayer, and even to leave fasting until we are back home. Although Salah say we should fast, it means we have more comfort now, and particularly on prayer, the Prophet said it's a gift, so we should not reject it. And they say prayer is a gift. Okay. So what we want to use here is he raised up his hand towards the heaven, saying, my Lord, that is Allah is above the heaven. Now let me bring, if you are not still, if Ahmadiyya is not still, let me say, is not still, some of them may be very wayward. Shaitan is very wicked. They still, be inspiring in the mind of some of them that do not mind them. All these are not clear enough. All these, Okay, we have some other ones that are still clear, that are more clear. The prayer for istisqa, prayer for seeking rain. When there is no rain, when there is drought, we ask Allah to give us rain. The prayer, what's it? How do we perform the prayer? The manner. Okay, let's just go back to the Hadith. Rasulullah, when he would observe such prayer, he would raise, according to the Hadith, he would raise his hand up. Hatta bada ibtu bayad ibti, hatta yura bayad ibti. He would raise his hand up very, whenever Prophet used to raise his hand, and this has even made me to remember another hadith I didn't put in this book. When he would raise his hand, he would just raise his hand and ask Allah. But because this matter is a very critical one, a very serious one, no drought, Prophet will be in fear that if it could be that Allah was angered against us, or about what the Muslims have done. So Rasulullah would, according to the hadith, ask them to go and repent and amend their ways, promise them a day to do the prayer. Then when he would, after the people have gathered, he would come out very humbly, turn his, what do you call it? Abba. They called abaya now. The cloak he was wearing. Take it off and turn it to the other side. And he was raising the hand up, hatta yubayat it, that all of the armpit of Prophet was seen, owing to the manner and the level of his raising his two hands up. Unto whom? Unto Allah. This, oh Allah, oh Allah, oh Allah, because Allah is up. If Allah, as to you, is elsewhere, is towards another direction, why is he now raising it up? Every time he prays, he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he raises most often, he raises his arm up. Although not every time, but when he has something very, very, very crucial, he raises his hand up. That is, I just remember, it was on, it was the day of Jumat, was delivering sermon. Someone came, very old person, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all our sheep are dying, all our camels are dying, because there is no rain. There is no rain. Ask Allah to give us rain. On the day of while on the khutbah, he raises his hand up and say, Allahumma iskina, or according to the hadith. So he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send down rain. And he had never, and even before putting his two hands, people have seen clouds of rain. In a minute, it was already raining. So Rasulullah saw some of them rushing out to see the rain, to see the rainfall, since they've been expecting for long. And he laughed until some of his, let's say, what do you call it? Canine and molars were seen. Okay. So, and from here too, it is deducted, deducible according to the what is it? According to the scholars, according to the observation of the scholars, that this also is an evidence that somebody can talk directly to the person giving the sermon if need be. So, so scholars also can ask somebody, can talk to someone, like Rasulullah talked to Salik, one of the companions, where we starts without observing 2 rakah. That's, oh Salik, stand up and observe 2 rakah. And that is while the khutbah was ongoing. Okay, so this is one of the verses that you can never deny unless there's more to it. Okay, another evidence here is Rasulullah in one hadith, and this hadith is famous for people who was used to the pristine Islamic teaching and Tawheed, who learn Tawheed. This is famous, and all we Muslims is very, very crucial and important. More is very, very critical. This topic, Tawheed, every Muslim must learn it, because it's the basis of our religion. You can never be a Muslim unless you are a muwahid, and there are several things that can vitiate your akidah, your Tawheed, your monotheism. So you need to learn this thing. Prophet asked a female slave, one day, which I can never just because of time. So his master was there. So he said, Aina Allah, where is Allah? Where is Allah? And that's even from this verse I've named this book, and also from the topic we discussed during that debate. So from the title of the topic, from the name of the topic we discussed. So we said, Aina Allah, where is Allah? So the female slave said, His sama, in the heaven, it is above the heaven. what the Prophet said, because he was sent to us to guide us to what is true and show us what is bad so that we won't correct what is bad. So if the female slave wasn't correct, Prophet, whether she's correct or she's not correct, then what did they say? He said he just faced his master. That's what did he say? He said I said aslikha. Said fainaha mu'mina. Said he free her, for she is a Muslim. You know, in Islam, according to the teaching of Islam, is not meant for a Muslim to enslave another Muslim. So and said free her, for she is a Muslim. Why? Because of that belief she had, because of that creed in her. So that means she is correct. That means she was correct. So this is another evidence that's very, very, clear and explicit to show that Allah is in heaven. Just to the Quran verse I quoted from the beginning. Now the 10th evidence, according to this book, I'm still going to have some others too, or I just leave it like that. Prayer for curing illness. So in Hadith book we find narrations. Yes, when the Messenger of Allah said, taught us a prayer, a particular prayer, that whenever we have an illness or anything that causes us pain, we should say the prayer. And the beginning of the prayer is Rabbuna alladhi fis sama amruka fis sama. It's not even Allah. It's not, in fact, from this verse, not only Allah is in the heaven, but some other things too that are Allah's are in the heaven with him. Allahu Akbar. Prophet said, you say Rabbuna alladhi fis sama, our Lord who is in the heaven. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Amruka fis sama. Your command is in the heaven. Rabbuna alladhi fis sama amruka fis sama. Anzil shifa'aka wa ila ala hadha waja. I've forgotten some of them. Said, descend your cure upon this waja, this pain, this illness, this sickness. Allah. You're a Christian, you have not, known that Islam is just like some people are just arguing on Facebook yesterday, or even before yesterday. I think it was before yesterday, in a group where I actually found myself. So just I don't used to use these arguments. I will just give them because if I haven't seen somebody commented correctly, I have to comment. So just after commenting them, I don't have much time to start arguing, but I'll give them very straight evidence. Everybody that has, and some people also reason to truth. So you can see you can compare it to what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6. And if you ask God, your Father, for something or else, say, our Father who art in heaven. Just like Prophet said, our Lord who is in the heaven. And I used to tell the Ahmadi Muslims too, that you also used to quote Bible, because some of them, because I made a video, although it's in the Yoruba language, my native language, they were trying to prove their error, their heresy. That because Isa was crucified, but didn't die on the cross. They were trying to prove it, but they could not prove it with anything other than the Bible, other than certain verses from the Bible. I said, thank Allah, thank God, that you can never prove this thing from the Quran, the book that you say you believe in. Thank God. So you can only quote it from Bible. Now they used to quote Bible, and they don't see anything, because just like a wrong person, you didn't see evidence for something bad he's doing, and doesn't want to believe that thing, to find evidence, let me say, enthusiastically or rashly from anywhere. Anywhere he sees anything that that seems to be in support of what he says, he just grab it. He doesn't want to care wherever the thing is coming from, whether the thing is outside from the fold of the religion he said he practices or not. Okay. Now I said these are other evidence from the Bible you quote. Our Lord who art in heaven. Even the Bible supports what is against what you believe, what you hold, what you maintain. Okay? Another evidence here is I think I should just stop here because so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us to let us see the truth and give الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. Those who listen to the word, to the truth, to the word of God, فيتبعون أحسنه, will follow what is good therefrom. So we ask Allah to make us of these people. Subhanallah, and please don't kindly share this video to people that you know that they can benefit from them, especially the Ahmadi Muslims. And some Muslims that may have this kind of wrong belief. We ask Allah to make us steady and to make us reverse and steady. We ask Him to guide those who have gone astray and to make us also steady. We ask Him to give us understanding and to reward us on the day of judgment and accept our religion from us. And please let us keep learning Islam. Islam is an epistemic religion. We cannot just say we are Muslims. We are just practicing Muslim. We don't learn. Actually, one of the bad things and one of the consequences of not learning Islam, one of them is this. People will just come and deceive you. Just go like the what you call Orientalists. I read a book written by one American man. Basic or the basis of the book is discussion about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That book, I said, nobody has ever written a book, nobody has, that is worse, a book that is worse than this, because other books are in other books you can see that Islam is the target, or Prophet Islam will be the target, or be something we do in Islam. But he, subhanahu wa ta'ala, courageously, bravely, and just go straight to Allah and name the book so and so. That's it. And so many people that we are not versed and we are not really practicing Muslim, and they're not even they don't have any basic understanding, because you cannot have all the necessary knowledge. You can just need all the knowledge in Islam, found in Islam or taught by Islam, or brought by Islam, all the teachings of Islam. You may not necessarily learn them or have to know them, but you must know basics. So all these people, I see them, whether true or not, testify, making testimonies, how they read the book and turn to Christians. So we need to be careful when we need to learn Islam. We ask one another to make us steady. So